let's talk about narcissistic family loyalty. That is the loyalty that exists between a narcissistic person and their family of origin. Not all narcissistic people have this dysfunctional loyalty, but many of them do, and you might be dealing with this narcissistic person. Maybe it's your spouse who has a very strange, dysfunctional loyalty to their family of origin. How would you know? Because these narcissistic people put their dysfunctional family first, above you, above their spouse, even above their own children. And it doesn't matter how dysfunctional and toxic their family of origin is. They could be drugged out people. They can be in and out of prison. They can be murderers. Highly dysfunctional, toxic people. They could have been brought up in a family dynamic where a lots of neglect was shown. Even child molestation. We're talking about the sickest of people, yet there is a loyalty that exists. This is the narcissistic, toxic loyalty that exists within some families. But wait, it gets worse. You see, loyalty and love exist on completely separate planes. And you wouldn't have even known this until you've dealt with it. Love says this. Love says, I accept you because of who and what you are. For your gifts and your talents, I want what's best for you. I want to encourage you. I want to support you because you don't belong to me. You belong to your Creator. And I honor that. I love you. That's love. Loyalty says, I accept you for what you do for me, for how you protect this, us, we, because you belong to me. You belong to this. You belong to us. You belong to we. Therefore, you must prove that you belong to me. That's loyalty. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is the consequences of this dysfunctional, sick, and toxic loyalty that exists within these sick, twisted, stupid families. Let's get there. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I do continue with this very important message, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one telephone calls or video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. If you're married to a narcissistic person who is showing loyalty to a dysfunctional, toxic family that has begun to try to tear you apart, head on down there, schedule some time with me. I'd love to talk with you about this. Also, I do have a coaching program. My coaching program is live and in person each and every day. Not only are we working together, but every Tuesday night, Royal We Fellowship is a brand new exclusive part of the Royal We coaching program. Every Tuesday night, we are coming together to pick up on the biblical strategies for dealing with narcissism in this world. So if you're ready to look at the Bible in a whole new way, to understand, not only understand, but to thrive in a world full of narcissism, then join the Royal We coaching program for a great biblical time together. In addition to that, that's not it. In the Royal We coaching program, you also have Backstage Pass every Thursday night. This is where I share with you the inside information on being a coach. So for those of you who have a desire to be a coach, maybe a healer, maybe a teacher, or maybe you just want to pick up ideas to implement in your own coaching program, I'm going to give you everything that I know about coaching, the ins and outs during the Backstage Pass every Thursday night. So there's a lot going on in the Royal We coaching program. I don't think you want to miss out on any of that. And that's not the right screen I wanted to push. Doggone it. Should I start over? See, in Backstage Pass, I'll tell you how to not make mistakes like that, even though I just made it. All right, let's get on with this message. The worst part of dealing with narcissistic people and narcissistic families who are loyalty-based comes down to this. As you recall, I said that there is no love in these toxic, dysfunctional families. I mean, that's obvious from the signs of their violence and hostility and fighting and drug use and the neglect and perhaps the molestation and the abuse that's taken place within their family dynamics. Yet they're loyal, but as you can see, there's no love. Right? Love, loyalty. completely different planes. As a consequence of this, there's only one thing that can bring together a family that is based off of this toxic, dysfunctional loyalty. There's only one thing that can allow them to unite. It's the same thing that makes gangs unite. It's the same things that makes mobs unite. It's not love. It's not acceptance. I accept you. I accept you. You know what it is? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to take a guess with that toxic, narcissistic, dysfunctional family that you married into? You want to take a guess as to what allows them to even come together, to pretend like they care for one another, to call this sick, twisted, disturbing thing they have loyalty? Do you know what it takes? Since it's absent of love? Anybody? It takes a common enemy. You see, sooner or later, you're going to realize that you being a target, perhaps you married into this weird, stupid family of loyalty. You're going to start to see something. That they're all fighting. They all hate each other. Blah, 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 on and on and on. Until you do something to make one of them mad. And then you try to work it out with that one person who maybe you did something to make them mad and you have no idea what you even did to make them mad. They're just mad. They go into a little rage. They put their little pissy narcissistic face on or whatever. Start giving you the narcissistic stare. Start their demeaning, devaluing comments. And you're like, hey, what's up? Let's talk about this, right? I'm cool. I'm chill. Hey, listen, I'm not trying to offend you, blah, blah, blah. But then the next thing you know is you got another person now looking at you sideways. Now you're like, whoa, I'm just trying to work this out with them. What's your problem? And then you got another one looking at you sideways. Before you know it, you're up against this entire gang. And you're feeding, without even realizing it, you're feeding exactly what they need to even be together. You have no idea how exciting it is for them, a family of people who don't love each other, to now have an opportunity to do what? Prove their loyalty. Uh-oh. Remember what I said about loyalty? What is loyalty? Loyalty is I accept you for what you do for me, for us, for we. That's loyalty. So now all these people who have no love that exists between them get to prove to each other their loyalty to make up for the absence, the void of any real love. How do they prove it? By having a common enemy. That's right. The moment you step in and become an enemy of one of these people, then it spreads to another person within this gang, within this family. Now you've given them an opportunity to finally prove their loyalty to each other. Now they will start to smear your name. Now they will start to make up things that you have said. This is where you can be in a situation going, whoa, I've never said that. Why am I hearing things that I have said and done that aren't even true? Because they've run away with an idea that you are an enemy to them. Therefore, they can now prove their loyalty to one another. You see, they need you. You don't need the narcissistic people. You don't need that toxic narcissistic family that's absent and void of love. But they need you. This is why they don't let you go. This is why they will hunt you, come after you, drive by your house, stalk your social media. They will keep it going even when you say, I'm not coming over anymore. They will keep it going. Why? Because you are what's bonding them. You're allowing their loyalty to be proven to each other. Do you see what's taking place? This gets into dangerous territory because there's no end to what they might do to prove their loyalty. I have heard in my coaching career of people being threatened by their spouse's family. I've come close to experiencing similar things like that when I was dealing with stupid narcissistic family members. Threatening, wanting to fight. All for what? Because you're such a bad person? No. So they can stand tall amongst each other. so they can come together, prove their loyalty. That's all it's about. Just like any other gang. They're just trying to prove their loyalty to each other. That's why they've made an enemy out of you. And it becomes very dangerous for you. And by the way, there's nothing you could do about it. I mean, you can even watch this video. You can go back to these people and say, I know what you're doing. I know what you all are doing. You're trying to prove your loyalty to each other. I know, because you don't have real love that exists between you. So you have to stand up. You have to act like you're protecting your family. I get it. Okay, we can stop now. All right. Show's over. Show's over. No, that's not going to work. It's just going to make them more mad. There's nothing that you can say or do. Again, not because you're in the wrong, but because they have to have you. They have to have a common enemy. Without you, they have nothing. They have no way to prove their loyalty to each other. That is the sickest part of these stupid dysfunctional families, is when you live in a family dynamic of loyalty, you live in a constant place of having to prove yourself. Because again, what is loyalty? You must prove to me that you belong to me. There is no love. Your best bet in these situations, get the hell out. But that doesn't mean they're going to stop. Because again, they're still going to try to prove their loyalty to each other. But give yourself a fighting chance. Get away. Or, I've coached many people, stood their ground, called the cops, said, you all threaten me again? I'll put your whole family up on trial. I don't care. You could do that. It's happened. I coached someone just earlier today, brought this to my mind. She put that whole family on notice because she got one threat. They stopped. Narcissistic families, even though they operate out of loyalty, they're not stupid. They don't want to go to court. Maybe some are stupid enough to want to go to court, but for the most part, they're not. They'll stop, and then they'll high-five each other. Yeah. We're so badass. I proved my loyalty. I proved my loyalty in this family. Woo woo. I'm just here to share with you their mind games. The sick and twisted reality of narcissism, toxic, dysfunctional families, and the loyalty-based chains that hold them together, which means they have to have an enemy. So if you're dealing with a narcissistic family, you're not crazy. You're not out of your mind. And no, you're not a bad person. And no, you didn't say half the things that they're accusing you of saying. You didn't do any of the things that they're accusing you of doing. They are simply making stuff up to feed their need to bond, because it's all they have. They have no love to bond on. So they have to prove their loyalty, which means they need you as an enemy. I hope that this video has at least helped you to understand what you're up against, the reality and the dangers of this toxic loyalty. You can go watch an episode of Yellowstone. I've checked out a few episodes and I like it, whatever. It's fun. Rip, Mr. Badass kicking everybody's ass. But it's a great example of a family of loyalty over love. Constantly trying to prove and battle and fight for who's more loyal. Stupid idiots. Life without love, just loyalty. This is just to help you understand what you're up against, how toxic and dysfunctional and dangerous it can be. As I said before, I'm here to support you. So if you're dealing with a toxic narcissistic family that is trying to prove their loyalty to each other by just destroying you, head on down there, schedule some one-on-one time with me. I'll talk with you about it. As I said, also, I do have a coaching program. The Roe coaching program is each and every day. And also, Roe Fellowship is each and every Tuesday night. In addition to that, Backstage Pass is every Thursday. So head on down there, get registered. There is no reason why each and every one of you watching this video right now could not benefit from the Royal Week coaching program, either from the daily lessons, the Tuesday Fellowship, or the Backstage Pass. Get down there and get registered. I'd love to see you in class. I'll be back with more right here on The Royal We. If you're brand new to The Royal We, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Otherwise, YouTube might not send you these videos. YouTube is kind of weird and wonky like that. They're likely going to send you something by Dr. Carter, Les Carter. Not a problem. Dr. Les Carter is great, right? But if you want to see more of The Royal We, you're going to have to hit the bell notification. Share this video with somebody who needs to see it, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We.